most people experience nirvana when they get saved. When someone becomes a Christian, or someone converts to a different religion, or someone leaves a religion, or something significantly spiritual happens in their life, they experience this blissed out state. And this feeling is like no other. It feels so good, and people chase it. And it only lasts for a certain amount of time. So people have to keep going back to the source of where they found this energy from. And the reason for that is because our vessel is the pitcher that contains the energy that God can give to us. And we have a small vessel that we continue to expand as we grow, learn, and evolve as humans. And because we can only experience so much energy at one time, when we experience this nirvana state in any spiritual experience, it can only last for the amount of time that your vessel can handle that energy. And if you have not expanded your vessel, then you're going to continue to look for that energy, that blissed out state in other things. And I'll give you a couple of examples. So when someone becomes saved as a Christian, they'll continue going to church. They'll continue going to worship services to find that energy again, to find that bliss state, to be in that state again. It feels so good. And I'm not saying that you can't find it in that. Definitely can. But my point is, it's not just in the church, because I've experienced it probably 3 times in my life, maybe 4. When I was little, I was told that I accepted Jesus into my heart. I don't remember that, but maybe that was an experience where I was like, I'm going to make my parents really proud, and I'm going to do something that means so much to them. And I know that there's a bigger reason behind this, and I'm going to dive right in and do what they say I need to do to feel this good feeling. And I did, and years later, I don't remember that experience. So then at about 10 years old, I rededicate my life to Christ, because some missionaries came to my house and told me about God, and they were so passionate. It was such a spiritual experience. And right after that, I started spreading the gospel to the entire neighborhood. I was trying to convert all of the kids to know about Jesus, to give their hearts to Jesus. And as I grew up, that started to fade, because that's just the nature of humans. You become tainted with things that the world wants to communicate to you, expectations, things that maybe you shouldn't be doing, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so then I feel like there was another point in my life where I hit my spiritual awakening. It was when it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And there was just a time of pure bliss where everything made sense. And I was like, why haven't I known all of this my whole life? Like, this information is beautiful. I should spread this to the world. I should tell everybody about it. And I was such I had such little understanding of what I had just jumped into, what I had just came to understand. But I wanted to spread it all over. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, because the realm of people that I was surrounded with were not as accepting as when I was spreading the news about Jesus when I was little. And so right after I experienced that blissed out stage for a certain period of time, it wore off. And I went through a dark night of the soul where I felt the lowest I possibly could. And it was like this cleansing process. And what I came to understand is that that's what people experience when they get saved, when they convert to a different religion. They are feeling this blissed out stage. They feel so good. They just want to spread it to the world. They want to share it with everyone. They want to know everything that there is to know about this thing. But then comes the dark night of the soul. Then comes the lack of that blissed out stage. And they're searching for it all over the place. They're like, oh, I need to go back to church. I need to read more about this religion. I need to convert people so that I can see it in them, and then I can feel it for myself again. But in reality, that stage can only be experienced by how vast we can hold that energy in our vessel. And also, humans are always trying to go back to homeostasis. They're always trying to find balance. Everything in creation is like that. We're always coming back to homeostasis. So if that is to go from this high blissed out stage to then this very low place where we feel such lack of bliss, that's how our bodies begin to level ourselves out, to bring us back to balance. But there is a way to experience that without this dip. And it's more even. Because our bodies want to be in homeostasis, it's best to be in that level place where you're constantly giving and receiving the energy of abundance from Source, from God Divine. And when you experience the lows, you bring those to God. You allow those lows to be transformed and transmuted. And as you transmute those lows, those negative energies that you're experiencing, and see the full picture of them, begin to integrate them into your life and become a better whole person through them, you expand your vessel. You're then able to receive and hold greater clarity, abundance, joy, peace as a result. So hopefully that makes sense to you, because that's what God wants for us. God wants us to experience the world and to experience the realizations of beauty and creation and this blissed out state on a continuous basis. But we have to understand that our bodies are not going to be okay with being so high all the time. So there's nothing wrong with going to church to try to find that blissed out state. But you have to remember that if you're not expanding your vessel to receive, if you're not integrating the lows in your life, then you're always going to be searching. You're always going to feel this lack, and you're going to probably experience these roller coaster of feelings if you're not expanding your vessel, if you're not integrating those things into your life so that your body can feel safe in the good, can feel safe in the blissed out stages of life, in the experiences of it all. Because you can have all of it. You can have such good experiences with God, the divine, people in your life, but you have to have an expanded vessel. So if that doesn't make any sense, leave a question in the comments. I am so excited to be able to answer any questions that you might have if I did not make things clear enough. But I'm hoping that this was helpful for you to come back to a place of understanding that if you're in a place where you felt really good at one point and now you're like, I'm confused, what's going on? Why do I not feel good anymore? There's a reason for that, right? So, thanks for listening.